I think the news in this country is fundamentally broken. I think there is a way to fix it, and it's for the news to actually bring facts to their audience. I think that the news today, unfortunately, is enormously problematic. I think that the CNNs of the world, and I just use them as a symbol more than anything else, establishment media, calls everything even when things aren't even. If sports reporters operated in the same way that news reporters do these days, it would be laughable. They say, all right, well, the Cowboys and the Giants played last night, and the Cowboys say they won, and the Giants say they won. No, but who won? There was a score. And in this case, it happened to be the Cowboys. That's what you got to report. But unfortunately, whenever you turn to CNN, they say the Republicans say this and the Democrats say that. And I keep yelling into my TV set, who cares what they say? Tell me what actually happened. And there are real facts. People like to say, well, it's all opinion. That's not true. So unfortunately, nearly 70% of this country thought that Saddam Hussein had personally attacked us on 9/11 when we went to war with Iraq. There was an objective fact that the establishment media failed to get through to the American people, which is that Saddam Hussein had not attacked us. That is not an opinion, that's a fact. And oftentimes there's an enormous deference to the government, to the Pentagon. If you say on television, hey, I don't believe the Pentagon, they'll look at you like you got three eyes. What? That's the Pentagon! I'm like, are you guys crazy? The job of the government, the media, is to challenge the government. Does the Pentagon lie? Of course it lies. Every single story we've been told, from Jessica Lynch to Pat Tillman to the drone strikes to even the bin Laden killing. The first story that comes out is almost invariably a fiction. Part of the reason is they know that's what 90% pay attention to, the first story. And they don't see the correction several weeks later when they say, oh, by the way, bin Laden was not hiding behind his wife, he did not have a weapon, and we just kind of executed him, right? So I think the news in this country is fundamentally broken. I think there is a way to fix it, and it's for the news to actually challenge the government, as they are supposed to do, to be the fourth estate, to do it aggressively against Republicans and Democrats, and actually bring facts to their audience. We do two things at the Young Turks, right? So one is to bring people information, and other is to entertain them. Because as Walt Disney said, if you try to inform people first and entertain them second, you'll have no one to entertain. If you try to entertain first and then inform, well, you'll have an audience that you could actually inform. What I want to do is I want to convey that to the audience so that they are entertained by the news as I am. They're as interested, fascinated by the news as I am. So that's part of our mission. And then the second part is, once we have your attention, we'd like to give you the actual facts. And so obviously we have a perspective, and we don't hide that, and we're very honest with the audience about that. But most of all, we tell people what the reality is, whether it's budget numbers, whether it's numbers on the war, anything that entails cold, hard reality. That's what we're into. Should you subscribe to THNKR? Of course!